We good to go, Daniel?
Yeah.
Well,
Do you want headphones, Chris?
if you've got a pair that I can wear, yes, but if you haven't got a pair, it doesn't worry me.
Extension in.
Check two, check two. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. All right. So I'm basically ready whenever you are. All we have to do is remember to start a clock. And then hope that thing starts and I can put this in my pocket and forget about it.
Yeah, you're live. So. Yeah.
Good evening and welcome to McKellar Park for this Capital Football PS4 National Premier League's match between the top of the table Canberra Olympic and the third placed Belconnen United. This should be an absolute humdinger. My name is Chris Coleman. Alongside me for colour commentary today on Bar TV Sports is Steve Forshaw. Steve, great to have your company this afternoon.
Thanks, mate. It's really good to be here. Looking forward to the game. As you say, should be a really good one.
Now, the last time these sides met, 7 goals scored between the two sides, all of them in the last 30 minutes. So, do you reckon we'll see the early arm wrestle and then the explosion at the end, or a different course now that we're a bit further into the season?
I think we can anticipate a similar sort of game. The great unknown is how Belconnen deal with the amount of changes they've had to make for this particular game against the league leaders who are in fine form themselves. But Belconnen will go into this fairly confident, and I'm sure we'll see goals. Whether we get 7, we'll certainly see goals.
I don't think too many people will complain if we get that many. Let's just have a look at the form line for these sides. As I said, Canberra Olympic, they're on top of the table. They have lost but 1 game this season. They are 10 wins, 1 draw and 1 loss from their 12 games so far. A goal difference well in the positive of plus 25, 31 competition points altogether. Last week they went over to the long trip to the Riverina, and sometimes sides struggle with that because of the journey that they've got to make all the way over to Griffith. But they came back with the points. They won that game 4-2, and from their last 5 games they have 4 wins and 1 draw. For the home side, Belconnen United, their last game was 2 weeks ago, so they're a little bit fresh, hopefully, after a week off. And that last game was against Canberra FC. It was a 2-1 win. And from their last 5 games, the Belconnen United side have 2 wins, 1 draw and 2 losses. So they'll be looking to really pick up their form as we start to develop into the second half of this Capital Football PS4 National Premier League season for 2017. Looks like we're about in readiness. It will be Canberra Olympic. They are in the dark kits, the dark blue, as the game starts. And immediately we see the ball with Belconnen United. They go deep back. In fact, all the way back to the keeper. Early start, long ball. There's Reinhardt out on the left wing. Crosses to the centre. Beaten. Looking around. Comes back to Reinhardt. We can expect to see a lot from Cameron Reinhardt today. Back to Beaten. Now it's with Fabrizio. Goes to his right foot, tries to get a ball into the area. And we've got our first whistle for the day. So these sides really will feel each other up a little bit. Do you expect to see much of the long ball today? Not, I wouldn't expect to see a lot of it early.
I think from Belconnen you'll see them trying to play out from the back. Olympic have a reputation for being a little bit more direct than Belconnen, especially from the keeper, Angela. And, you know, from the kick-off, we saw Olympic push on and try and press, and they're doing it again here. So Belconnen might try and turn them around, certainly in the first 20 minutes.
Well, ball goes out of bounds. Good attacking position here for Belconnen United. So Reinhardt comes up to take the throw. He'll take this from almost level at the top of the penalty box. I reckon he's shortchanged himself a couple of yards there. Dustin Wells gets around his man. Fabrizio again. The comeback through Beaton. Now way over the far side of McKellar Park.
This is Belconnen's leading scorer, and they'll be looking to him to get into good positions throughout the game. He'll cut inside from the right-hand side and try and get it onto his left foot. He is a predominantly left-footed player, but he is a regular goal scorer for him.
We've got the first set play coming up here. A fairly chilly evening here in Canberra. I reckon it can't be any more than about 4 or 5 degrees at the moment. And long ball goes in, punch out by Constantini, the Olympic goalkeeper. So Olympic for their first foray upfield. Cole Bataldo. Who's he got? Canadak up ahead, but ball is deflected out, so it'll be a throw in for Canberra Olympic. Just looking down this Canberra Olympic list, so much scoring power there.
A lot of quality. A lot of quality in the Olympic team.
Just looking at Bobulis, Cole Bataldo, Habtemariam, Dominici with 18 goals, Katanak, McLaughlin, Galevsky, Nick Bobulis, they've all scored, so plenty of scoring potential. This is Cole Bataldo just taking the ball back a little bit. So they swing it around, they'll try to come up the right now through Nick Bobulis. Nick and Tim playing tonight. Long ball looking for Tim Bobulis. He can't quite control it, it goes out. And so we're going to turn over with Belconnen United to bring it back in from right down there into the screen. Pitch in very good condition, especially given the severe frosts we've had over the past couple of weeks, Steve.
It is in excellent condition. You know, there's already been 2 games on it today, but it's first class. The grass is just starting to die off a little bit, but there's a really solid cover, and football players will be looking to be playing on a surface like this, that's for sure.
Fabrizio on a challenge there with Bobulis. And Fabrizio, probably just more of the physical of the two. The referee agreeing with that, so Nick Bobulis will have the free kick. Everyone bar the Olympic keeper now in the Olympic attacking half of the field. Ball up in the air. Cole Bataldo again. Midfield contest. Habtemariam trying to put Olympic into attack, but Fabrizio does better. He's impressed in these first few minutes. Just looking up at the clock on the scoreboard, it's playing catch up at the moment. It started, it stopped, and it started again. So we'll call it the first 4.5 minutes and be done with it. As we come back for Cameron Reinhardt. He's got a couple of players way over to the right. He'll need to go long.
Not a lot of movement in front of the ball there, and caused Reinhardt some hesitation over the free kick. Just need to get a little bit more movement in that final midfield third.
They almost wasted that free kick by winding up going square with it, but let's see how they can go as they've held on to position. Long ball. Magic, the Canberra Olympic player, the closest to it as it trickles out over the sideline, but it'll be a throw-in for Olympic. So this game just starting off slow. Magic with a long throw. I think he was looking for Katanak, but he overthrew him. Now that's Katanak coming in, but again, it's Belconnen United working at square. Reinhardt Not just working it square, but working it backwards. There's a good ball up from Wells. Olympic just very, very quick. Now Belconnen United on the attack. Olympic playing very deep in defence, but it's worked well for them. They turn it around.
So Adam Glazer, who just turned possession over there, is recent addition to the club from America. Just still finding his feet a little bit in Canberra, but big things are expected of him.
Steve Forshaw with colour and analysis this evening on Bar TV. No score after 6 minutes between Belconnen United and Canberra Olympic. Belconnen United trying to play a very quick game here, Steve.
Yeah, they are. One of the things that they've worked on all year is being able to keep the game alive and play quickly, and certainly play forward as quickly as possible. Olympic are giving them no space and no time. But if Belconnen can actually retain possession a little bit better in those tight areas, I'm sure they can get some joy out of it. If they turn it over cheaply, Olympic are certainly good enough to punish them.
Well, Olympic have the ball now. Just having a look. Captain Mariam was just set to make a move as the ball rebounds back out. That's McLaughlin. Cutting around Van Golevsky, but the ball winds up again going out over the sideline. It'll be a United throw. Marzi was the target of the throw. He put it upfield, but again, Olympic starting to show now their strength on the rebound ball. Habdamariam. Long ball, far post. Header from Katanak, but ill-directed. And it'll be a goal kick to be taken by Finn Durack. And it's his first touch of the ball.
I think it is, yeah, but he's actually come on really well this season. He's still eligible to play under 18, so he's only a very young keeper. But he's really shown that he's worth his place. He's had a very, very good year so far.
Lengthy kick, but finds Bobulus. Bobulus's header only gets as far as Reinhardt. Reinhardt with a long ball into space, no target though. That's a header back towards the keeper. Danger play, but the keeper, Constantinou, gets down. Puts the body behind the ball. Good technique all round. Able to deny the fast approaching Belconnen United forwards. But they turn it around again. Through Fabrizio. His pass is cut off. Now Cole Bataldo, he's been busy early, as has this bloke, Tim Bobulus down the right wing. Centre. Oh, first time would have been interesting for Golevsky, but instead it's a turnover of possession and a straight back to Olympic again, midfield. Through Nick Bobulus, he goes for the long ball. Over there it's Golevsky. He's put himself on a horrible angle and it's easily taken care of by Durack. Pace of this game just stepping up a gear as we get up to about the 10-minute mark. That's Wells. Wells upended.
A lot depends on how well Dustin plays, because he is the creative influence in the side, and he does bring with him a lot of experience. And if he can have a good game today, Belconnen are a bit of a show.
So you have to marry him now back in defence for Canberra Olympic, and that's well, a pass to nobody. So this will give United a chance to set up with a throw. And Reinhardt brought it back a few yards from where it went out. Obviously wanted to just give his side just a little bit more room to move. There's that man we were talking about a minute ago, Wells. Deflection on his kick. And then just off a Belconnen United player as the contest gets to the goal line. Ball over, and it'll be Constantinou for Canberra Olympic to take the goal kick.
Belconnen will be reasonably happy after the first 10 minutes that they haven't conceded any clear-cut chances, haven't created any either. But if they can wear themselves into the game, like I was saying at the start, there's a lot of players missing from the Belconnen starting 11 tonight. So they'll be really anxious to cut out these sorts of moves where Kadanak gets in behind Reinhardt.
Yeah, just seeing Kadanak in there. That's a really good contest developing between those two. And with that coming just off the ankle of Reinhardt, our first corner for today. Olympic setting up very deep here. A long way from goal. So who's going to be the target? Well, goes off one to another. And there was Yarnold. He was the original target.
Bobulus with a little touch at the far post, but Finn Durack tied it up quite easily.
Bouncing around like a pinball in the penalty area. Sometimes chaos ensues, but Durack did well to read that, and amazing to think that he's only a teenager. So Belconnen playing fast end to end. Now with Beaton, but he's dispossessed by Dominici. Long ball to nobody. That's Cameron Reinhardt. He's got time to set. Does so, gives it up to Beaton now. Just wait to see if there's a target opening up downfield. There isn't really. A little bit of a nudge on Glazer. He went down, but nothing in it. Bobulus trying to get the ball in. Now it was McLaughlin. And again, Durack called upon to clean up. He gets the ball out fast. Looking for the quick rebound.
At the moment, the Belconnen front three can't make it stick, so possession's just changing hands too quickly. They're defending well, they're resilient, but it's only a matter of time if they keep turning possession over so cheaply that Olympic will take advantage of it. I saw then Kadanak broke away. It's a chance for Belconnen and comes to nothing.
And again, yeah, as you're saying, they're giving away possession far too cheaply, especially in that final third of the field. The midfield duels have been interesting, although few and far between. We're seeing a lot of contesting for the ball just outside the penalty boxes at the moment. So on the attack again, Olympic. This could be dangerous. Shot low to the left. And Finn Durack dives across to his right and gets behind it. So that's the first real shot on target we've seen today. Durack well up to the task.
I think Dominici will be a little disappointed that he only hit the target there. He was in a good spot. We probably should have made it 1-0, but all credit to Finn. Done well.
And Dominici, as we said before, 18 goals so far this season from a 12-game campaign. I'm not sure if he's played all 12 games, but he's scored 18 goals. So he's going at well over 1 goal per game at the moment. Now Tim Bobulus in space. Would have liked the ball a little bit lower. Took it off the chest, puts the cross in. And Bobulus was flattened after he passed it. Have to marry him. Over to McLaughlin. Goes for the long ball up the centre. Plenty of light blue shirts in evidence. And now it's Muzzy. Through to Dustin Wells. Long ball out on the left wing. It's Fabrizio. He's got time. Didn't quite control it as quickly as he would have liked at the top of the area. Puts the ball across, and again it's to nobody. Trying some late clean-up work in there. It was Maybury was in there, but he was just too late. Shut the stable gate. The horse had already bolted. And again, United giving away possession at the top of the area. So Glazer put the ball up, but again to nobody. Have to marry him across to Kadanak. Kadanak with the ball up forward. There's a whistle in there. That'll be for just a slightly heavy challenge.
Yeah, just a little mistimed. Collected, gave himself half a chance of winning the ball. It's an intercept and just collected Robbie Kadanak a bit late. Free kick, no doubt.
And now the referee's saying, I want it back for another go. So we'll just pause for a moment. So we get the ball back to the centre circle. McLaughlin had the free kick, put it way over the far side. Push and shove, and a late feet raised charge. Now there's a bit of push and shove there, and we've got a yellow card. In fact, I think we've got 2 yellow cards.
One each. I think Zach Maybury might have picked up the first one, and then for retaliation, perhaps Stephen Dominici got the other one. Might not be Dominici, I might have got that wrong. bit hard to see.
It is a bit hard to see. It's the darkest part of the field. The lights here are pretty good, but there are a couple of patches where the lights are a little bit dark, and the black numbers on the back of the Belconnen United jerseys are just a little bit hard to pick up at times.
Absolutely. But one card each, I think probably fair enough.
Yeah, that's a fair reaction. That the tackle was late and the legs were raised, but again the push and shove afterwards as well, just not necessary.
Looks like it was Nathan Megic that got the card for Olympic.
Well, he's had 2 yellows and a red so far this season, has Megic. They're on the attack here, Belconnen, but this is going to come to nothing because there's nobody in the forward half for them. So, again, Olympic on the rebound. Long ball, target Galevsky. He's in the area and puts it out over the goal line. So, again, must have taken just a little deflection off a United player there because it's come up as an Olympic corner.
Yeah, I think Harry Williams probably got the last touch on it, and Tommy McLaughlin trots over then to swing another one in. Hit the last one with some real pace. Very dangerous corner. I'm sure they're trying to find Nick and Timmy Bobulus at the back post here.
Well, the Bobulus boys both charged toward the near post, but it's cut off. United again on the attack. They only have one player in the forward half. Mind you, there's not too many Olympic jerseys back in defence either. It almost flies around the honeypot here. Makes its way back to the Canberra Olympic keeper in Constantinu. Now with Havdamariam. Across to Katanak. Plenty of time, no challenge coming for him at the moment. Katanak setting, waiting. Long ball. Bobulus was the target, but he was nowhere to be found. Now Muzzy. Challenge between Glazer and McLaughlin. McLaughlin does better. Turns around and Olympic just starting to attack more often. Long ball. Possibly could have been left for Durack, but United defence not taking the chance on that. And able to bring it out slowly. Reinhardt. Now it's with Wells. He switched across to the left. We saw a lot of him on the right-hand side earlier. Wells again puts it up. Taken off the chest by Cole Bataldo, and we've got another yellow card. It's going to be one of those nights.
It could well be. I mean, Dustin, a little frustrated there with his touch. Lost control of the ball and then lunged in and collected young Danny Cole Bataldo. Reasonable decision by the referee. I don't think anybody can argue. I think Belconnen, if they can be brave enough, courageous enough to actually get the ball down and play out from the back, it's the best chance at the moment. They're trying to go long and hit the front players, but there's no support there, so it's constantly coming back. So they just need to change things a little bit.
Very long ball from inside his own half by Nick Bobulus to nobody in particular, and Finn Durack able to get it, and he sends it up again. Now, this time there are 2 United players up forward, and that might just be a better option than just having the one. Because at the moment it's exceedingly predictable where they're going up forward because there's only the one man usually on the attacking side of halfway. Marzi was looking for Glazer. Glazer couldn't get there. Ball sent downfield in a hurry by Olympic. With Reinhardt again now. Short ball to Beaton. But again, it's almost predictable, isn't it? I can almost say it without looking at it. Olympic on the rebound yet another time. They got an offside, playing very deep for the offside trap there, and Canberra Olympic just waltzing straight into it.
Yes, in fact, they held the line really well. The trouble with the moment, both sides are just turning possession over too cheaply, and I'm sure both coaches will be wanting to change that as soon as they can. But it's a matter of somebody being able to put the foot on it, slow the game down and play it at a different pace. And if they can do that, one or the other team is going to get some joy out of it.
Clements, haven't seen a lot of him so far today. Gets a good through ball, finds Ugrinich. Ugrinich forward, ball puts it up forward, potentially for Glazer, but the line was never on. Just trickles out past the goal. So it turns around. 20 minutes gone, no score here at McKellar Park. Chris Coleman and Steve Forshaw on Bar TV Sports with this Capital Football PS4 National Premier Leagues match on a chilly Saturday night in the nation's capital, first versus third in the competition.
They do tell me it's going to be -7 tomorrow, so it's going to get cooler.
Yeah, -7 tomorrow morning. So probably a good thing we're playing tonight, not tomorrow morning. Well, the juniors usually get to kick the frost off the grass at that time of the day. Wells puts the ball back, finds Cameron Reinhardt. Reinhardt puts the ball back. Now, this is interesting. It was a good challenge from Gorewski. Gorewski puts it down. Durack clears in a hurry. Header from Nick Bobolis. Bit of push and shove with Tom McLaughlin going for the header. A bit of push and shove, and it winds up going the other way to Belconnen United. Now they push up. And beaten. Across to Wells. Wells goes for the long ball, more in hope than anything else, and doesn't even trouble Constantinu. He hangs on to it quite easily. Takes his full allotment of time. Kicks it downfield. He did have Katanak there, but nobody else. And it gets across to Finn Durack. So Durack can take his time. Oh, that's a very ordinary ball from him. Luck more than anything else, stopping Dominici from just planting it in the back of the net. Have to marry him at the top of the area. Attempted hook kick as well. Goes across the face of goal. Well, that could have been disastrous.
Absolutely. Flashback to game one when in the 4-3 game. Finn got caught in possession in his own penalty area, hanging on to the ball, and Stephen Dominici scored and brought the Olympic back in the game. Very, very similar situation recurs. Finn, just a little cocky, perhaps a little complacent, but he'll learn from it. He won't be doing that again.
And Dominici, he of all the players for Canberra Olympic to put the ball in front of, I don't think he could have picked a worse player. And maybe Dominici just thought, I can't believe this is coming my way. Ball goes out at halfway. No, stays in. Good work there from Cam Reinhardt. But again, he's got no targets up forward. And this Canberra Olympic defence able to just turn the ball around and rebound, send it back upfield. Reinhardt and Kabdamariam. Kabdamariam sees it out over the line, and it'll be another throw into Belconnen United. Well, we're past the feeling each other out stage now. We're at the midpoint of the first half. No goals as yet. Reinhardt shapes for the long throw. Decides better of it in the end. Finds the head of Wells. And there he had McLaughlin. Also Katnak. Magic. But it's the lighter blue shirts. Just too much happening on the other side at the moment. They turn it around to Olympic with McLaughlin. Quick rebound. Oh, now that's gone. Lotto ball. Dominici was waiting for it. A couple of feet on it would have been interesting. Colbertaldo sends it across to the far side. And then picks it up again on the run around. Gets it in. He's got Dominici and have to marry him flattened. Of his own volition, I hasten to add. He jumped up and landed. Now Nick Bobolis back at the other end of the field. And again, there's just no targets up forward for Belconnen United. I'm not sure whether there's... I'm not sure what the game they're playing to try and get anything on the board down that other end is, Steve.
It seems fairly obvious to me that the tactic is get the ball forward as quickly as possible and then work to try and pick up second balls. At the moment, the passing has been a little inaccurate, so they're not finding the targets, limited as they are, as you mentioned, but they really do need to start getting the ball on the floor and start playing a little bit more constructively.
And you can't really rely on getting the secondary ball, can you, off this Canberra Olympic side. They know how to possess the ball. They can, when they need to, they can be patient, as we see Colbertaldo offloads the pass and then runs into a brick wall.
Yep. Unceremoniously dumped to the turf. Probably a good free kick to give away under those circumstances because he was going to break into the area. But once again, it comes as a result of a cheap turnover in possession.
We don't have access to possession stats, but I think it would be largely attacking possession anyway, would be largely in favour of the dark blue side of Canberra Olympic. But I think in territory terms, possibly would still favour Belconnen United because we've seen the ball up the other end, but not necessarily in their hand. And good work from Finn Durack to punch that clear. And it winds up out over the sideline, so it'll be a throw in.
Chris, it'll be fairly even. The stats will be fairly even. I think what will be disappointing is the amount of completed passes both teams have achieved. That might be a little disappointing from the coaching staff's point of view.
Zigzag around Olympic from Yarnold to Konstantinut up to Tim Bobolis, but they lose the possession again. They're starting to really want to play it further up the field, I think. Marzi, haven't seen a lot of him. This is a big chance here for Fabrizio. Great dive from Konstantinut. No one following up for Belconnen United. Player behind Fabrizio there, and he would have had golden opportunity.
He would indeed. Daniel will be a little disappointed he doesn't finish it himself, but the break was good. That's one really decent chance each, and probably a reasonable reflection of how the half's gone. Best constructive or most penetrating move Belconnen have played this half.
When they start to put targets in the forward half, it makes a big difference, and Fabrizio, certainly a man who can, on occasion, set things up nicely. He's only got a couple of goals so far this season, but he very nearly added a third there. I just like the way that he actually took the keeper out of the game with the low ball, and Konstantinut was unable to really get a handle on it. But again, it's this lack of numbers up forward that's doing Belconnen United in. What can they do here? They've got a throw in. Now, this is going to take place at about, I reckon, the top of the area. The ball's gone a long way away, so we've just got to wait for it to be retrieved. This is going to take place right at the top of the area. Just wonder whether they drop it back for Wells, who's unopposed at this stage, and allow him to set up, or do they just go for the long ball? No, it wasn't Wells. It was Beaton in the end because Wells ran forward. Ball comes in, across, too far across. They've still got possession, but they're right down in the corner. Eventually it's tapped out, so it'll be another throw. Quick throw taken here, trying to catch the defence napping, fails miserably. And instead, it's Canberra Olympic. They're on the break now. Through Galevsky, still going Galevsky. He's got a couple of targets moving up on his left. Dispossessed by Beaton, good work from Beaton. Now it comes up to Reinhardt, back to Beaton. And Reinhardt again, but they've lost the ball again through Cole Bataldo. He switched over to the right-hand side, brought down just outside the box. That'll be a yellow card. And it is a yellow card, and had it been another 2 feet further, it would have been a whole lot worse.
Yeah, but it's only just short of the penalty area, isn't it? Again, cheap turnover, but at least under those latter circumstances they were trying to play out. They've just got to keep courageous and keep doing that, and they'll get some joy. Obviously, the passing has got to be of a higher standard.
Seen a lot of cards issued tonight, and a real lot of cards, and there's going to be a lot of players who are on tenterhooks as we get into the latter stages of this game, because you don't want to pick up that second yellow.
That's right. Well, I mean, we're only 30 minutes into the game, and I think we've had 4 or 5 cards already. So both teams will be a little nervous.
Well, what does Robbie Katanak do? Curves it around. Reinhardt. No, not Reinhardt. Good defence from Belconnen United. In behind the wall. Glazer tries to continue the attack, but he can't get anywhere. Ball is back in, goes straight past Dominici. Jeez. Canberra Olympic would be feeling desperately unlucky. Dominici's had 2 golden opportunities where the ball's been maybe an inch away from where he wants it. Turns around, looks for support. Now they're on the burst out of their own half. Once again, United. This is Jason Ugrinich. Puts the cross in. Pretty ordinary looking cross. They salvage something out of it. Ugrinich again. Sliding stop. And McLaughlin clears for Canberra Olympic. Galevsky again. He's getting very, very busy. Abdomarium. Finds the cross, gets Tim Bobolis. Katanak. Long ball, too long. Dominici thinks about it, can't get there. United rebound through Wells. Now there's a couple of targets, but there's nobody deep. Running up was Ugrinich. If they'd spotted him and gone across, it would have been interesting. Instead, it's back with Olympic. And he's got Cole Bataldo. We've got a whistle. Offside.
Yeah, Dominici offside in the first pass forward. Saved Belconnen's bacon a little bit again. But that was, the speed of the break then from Belconnen, although possession was turned over again. The speed of the break was good. They got numbers forward. And that's the key, I think, for them. Olympic just need to get settled themselves, get Katanak on the ball, get him spraying passes around him, and Cole Bataldo are instrumental in everything that they do. So if Belconnen can stop them doing that, they'll do well. as Finn goes long, again looking for Fabrizio.
I was going to say for anyone up there, and instead it's another turnover. Belconnen United have been able to salvage something out of this at the moment. Again, off Cameron Reinhardt was the man who initially set it up, then put it across, and here he is again. He's been close to the best for mine for United so far. Puts it across out wide now, finds Greenwich. Greenwich waits. Cuts the ground, gets it onto his right foot. Sends it back. Now with Clements. Clements goes long ball. He finds that man, Reinhardt. Reinhardt puts it through. A little dinky chip kick. That all Olympic can do is a hasty clearance, courtesy of Nick Bobolis. So it'll be a throw-in now for Belconnen United. They've had plenty of throw-ins down here.
In increments, they're actually creeping back into the game a little bit here, and the more patient they are in possession, the better off they'll be.
Reinhardt looks for a target. Looks short, looks long. Goes long, gets it onto the feet of Wells. Well, sends it into the area. Now it's Clements. Back to Reinhardt. Quick touch from him onto Greenwich. Greenwich almost loses his footing. Probably wasn't quite on balance there. Tough challenge. Referee says nothing in that. Reinhardt. Now he's given it to Marzi. Marzi through to Reinhardt, but it's just too fast for him. Another couple of feet on Reinhardt there would have been really interesting, but instead it's out over the dead ball. And it'll come back for another goal kick. We've got about 15 minutes left. There'll be probably about 2 minutes of injury time, I'd suspect. So let's say 15 to go in this first half. 32 gone. And no score at McKellar Park. Capital Football PS4 National Premier League action on this Saturday night.
Not been a great deal of goalmouth action, to tell you the truth. So although we forecast goals, we might be a little disappointed. But second half is yet to come.
And as we said in the preview, it was a 7-goal spectacle in the last half hour when these sides met back in round 4. So the game can change. Let's bear in mind too, there'll be plenty of players carrying yellow cards after the break. So there'll be a few players who have to be just a bit careful on their challenges. All bouncing around at the moment to nobody's advantage. Galevsky gets it across to Colbertaldo. Colbertaldo's first attempt to shoot smothered. Now it comes back to Galevsky. He looks, gets into the area. And again dispossessed. Good defence on that far side.
It's Mabry's done really well there. Found Fabrizio. And the referees actually stopped play for some reason. Belconnen on the break would have been looking forward to getting in the penalty area, but he's come back for the throw-in.
I don't get what that was about. And now we'll see, instead of being a potential fast break, we'll instead see everything settle down. Set play. Wells runs up. It goes too far. It's across to Habtemariam again. He's been good today. Very influential player. Sends it across. Tim Bobolis nearly loses it. McLaughlin. They go back to go forward. Habtemariam again. That's Nick Bobolis. Goes long, trying to give his brother every chance at it. Tim Bobolis chases it downfield. It's hooked into space. Tim Bobolis has gone down. I don't know if there was much in that. I think he's trying to draw some attention, some sympathy. Referee comes down to check with him and see if he's okay. And amazingly, he gets up and all is well again. And Bobolis will take the throw.
In long conversation with the linesman. If there was any contact there, it was all accidental, I'm sure. So Olympic looking to get set. It'll be Tim Bobolis with the throw. Who's he got? Habtemariam's the target off his chest. To the feet of Dominici. Comes across to Galevsky. Now bounces out. Not sure if Glazer's back pass was the right option there, but it's been hastily cleared. There's quite a few players for the light blue side. Beaten again. Beaten a third time. Goes to ground. He's drawn a whistle. The joys of sustained possession. Beaton taking a couple of deep breaths. So it'll be Reinhardt will take the free. Now we've got 4 players up in a line for United for just a moment. Bit of a push in.
Marzi could have been handy in there, but just couldn't get on the ball. And once again, it's a break from Canberra Olympic. Dangerous. Goes across to the left, and the offside flag comes up again. Colbertaldo is quick, too quick for his own good.
Yeah, unforgivable sin, really, because you can look right across the line there. There's no need for him to be running into an offside position. But again, Belconnen trying to play out, just misplace a pass, get caught on the break. Trouble in the brewing.
You can only play with fire so many times, can't you? And they're certainly taking the chances, or certainly throwing the chances out there. But again, just too much height in that defence too. Just having a look at the height differential, there seems to be more height in the Canberra Olympic defence than there is in the Belconnen United attacking line, which again for this long aerial ball isn't doing them any favours. Have to Mariam. Had a fast-flying McLaughlin down the outside, but couldn't get it across to him. He's waiting for it at the top of the square. But instead, it's the rebound, but I think the rebound's only going to go as far as Tim Bobolas. Bobolas tries to turn through 180, loses the ball in towards the bench, slides in under the bench as well. Push and shove, push and shove. Ugrinich tries to get the ball quickly for the throw-in, but in the end decides to leave it to the man who takes the bulk of the throws on this left side, and that's Cameron Reinhardt. Quick ball and tap it over to the other side. There were two players, one right at the top of the box and another one on the wing further back, unmarked for Canberra, for Belconnen United, but they couldn't do anything with it. Beaten with a header. It's almost like header volleyball happening at the moment. We saw about 4 headers in a row there.
I think this is playing into Olympics' hands. If you want to knock long balls into Yarnold and Bobolas in the middle of the Olympic back four, they're going to win most of them. Belconnen need to change the tactics and just play at the people's feet in front of the back four and see if you can get runners going forward from there.
We've seen the Belconnen United have got plenty of speed. There's plenty of speed around the park. So what about a few fast balls along the ground to players and work the field in numbers?
I think that's a reasonable suggestion to make. I think certainly playing it on the floor and certainly using your pace as a weapon is the way to go. And if you can split the defence, then you're a chance.
Absolutely. Rob Katanak draws a free kick. I think he might have actually got away with one there. Referee was a little bit unsighted. He saw a tiny bit of contact between the two, and Katanak made the most of said little bit of contact. He's now jogging downfield. So 1, 2, 3, 4 deep for Olympic. Free to be taken by Colbertaldo. Roosts it straight down the middle. Goes over the head of Golevsky. Goes very deep. Magic over in the corner. Takes a deflection off another United defender, and it will be a corner for Canberra Olympic. 38 gone, so no score here in the first half yet. But Canberra Olympic, they've tried a few of their set pieces from the corner. They've got to have something up their sleeve here. I'm just trying to see where Dominici is. He's unmarked at the moment, right at the top of the circle. He's still unmarked. They go deeper the other direction. Target might have been Tim Bobolas. The ball is reefed out, literally out of the park this time. It's gone over the fence. Someone will race around and get a souvenir ball, you'd imagine, over that side.
There's a big drain over there, but it's in a different postcode, that one.
That one's well and truly gone. I think the signals are being passed around the ground now. Can somebody go and get that one? They're not cheap, those soccer balls. In the meantime, play goes on. Tim Bobolas off his chest. Might have been off an arm of Katanak, uncalled. Finn Durack right in position for that shot as it comes straight in at the goal. Durack with the clearing kick. Again, there's nobody home. You know, this just gives Olympic time to get settled. Turn it around, give it to Have to Mariam. Now it's McLaughlin. It's like a stuck record, that bit. Another $1 for every time I've called that tonight. They come around through Beaton now to Belconnen. Across, get it to Wells. Now Wells has got Ugrinich on his own here. It was just too far for him and offside. The flag's gone up. It was just too far for Ugrinich. That was a more promising play though, Steve.
Yeah, more constructive. 2 or 3 passes in a row. Jason, similar sort of sin as we saw with Colbertaldo earlier in the half. Offside when you can see across the line. Unforgivable. Unforgivable.
Canberra Olympic bringing you back up again. This guy's been impressive today, Have to Mariam. Puts it around the outside. That's clever. He's given it to Dominici. Dominici right on the goal line. Oh, that was danger times if there'd been anyone following up, but there wasn't. Play continuing in the far side of the box with Megic. He sends it back into the top of the square. And this desperate clearing kick only gets as far as McLaughlin for Olympic. Now have to marry him on the far side. Looking for Dominici. Dominici falls. Clearing kick comes from Reinhardt. And again, back up the middle. And once again, it's with Olympic through Nick Bobolas across to Tim Bobolas. Bobolas on the right foot over to the far side. Olympic holding back from the offside trap. Allow Muzzy to send it upfield. Greenwich was the target, but cut off by Bobolas. Now to Golevsky. All goes across. Dominici was the intended man, but he'd actually overrun it. So once again, Belconnen United, they bring it out from deep in their own territory, from right down in that far corner. Turn it around. Again, 2 up front for the light blue side. Challenge. And again, we see the ball go out and a throw-in to take place. 42 gone in this first half. Still no score. If Belconnen United can get one against the run of play here, it'll give them a real lift, won't it?
If, well, either team can get a goal now just before half-time. It'll be heartbreaking for their opposition. But neither side have really looked like scoring. Been 2 reasonable chances at either end. But with that, other than that, we haven't had a lot of goal-mouth action. And we've had a lot of scrappy play, to be honest.
Well, Belconnen United get into the area. Cross comes across, but there's nobody home for it. Again, they just seem to be a man short in attack. I understand that you've got to have defence against Canberra Olympic. You've got to have guys back. But it just seems that Belconnen United repeatedly a man short in the formation up front. Do they drop a man out of the midfield and say, right, they're playing the long game. So they're not utilising the midfield as much. Do they say to one of the midfielders, you play more up forward? I'll get your thoughts on that in a minute, Steve, for sure, as we see. Now it's Wells after a bit of a push from Clements. Over to the far side, who's in there? Marzi's in the middle, would have been a good target. They still go. Cross comes in, but easily handled by Constantinou for Canberra Olympic. So what do you think? Is it maybe you have one fewer in the midfield, another man up forward if you're going to keep going with this long ball?
I think they've got enough forward. The 3 lads that are playing up front just need to be a little bit braver when they are going forward and making forward runs. If you can get into a situation where you have at least 2 players, one front post, one back post, and then 2 a little bit deeper towards the edge of the box, then any service into the penalty area is going to be more effective.
Cole Bataldo, middle of the park, goes over to the far side. He's got Habtemariam racing down the left touchline. Good little play from him, dinks it across. He's got the ever-dangerous Dominici in the middle, but the shot comes from deeper than that. Goes off to the left, so not even on target. Just for a second there, have to marry him. I don't think he looked up. I don't think he saw that Dominici had broken free from his man. He was just in maybe 2 feet of space and would have been ready for a first-time volley from the top of the penalty area. As it is, it'll be another kick from Durack. Durack taking his time here. There's the lower trajectory kick up the middle. Wells can't control. And they get the ball back now. Can he get around the outside, Fabrizio? No, he can't. Hurried clearance from Canberra Olympic. They're throwing for Belconnen. Once against Reinhardt. He's got Marzi there. That's who he goes for. Back to Reinhardt. And it goes with the left and the right and gets onto it. Now loses it over. Just too much pace on it in the end. Loses it over the end of the field. So we're into the last 20 seconds of regulation time. And these are the heartbreakers when they happen, if the goals happen at this stage of proceedings. We're about to go into injury time. This match of the round from the Capital Football PS4 National Premier Leagues on Bar TV Sports. Constantinou. Interesting. Back heel from McLaughlin, but it doesn't get terribly far. Now, chance on the break. Marzi across to Fabrizio. Fabrizio still going. Gets to the top of the box. Doesn't get into the box. Marzi has it now. Plenty of options. Oh, and he just loses his footing at the critical juncture as well. And now it's a free to Canberra Olympic. That was actually starting to look really promising. A little bit, I won't say sustained possession, but, you know, to hold it for 20 seconds there was really encouraging for Belconnen United. Steve, I'll let you get your thoughts about the first half together, so we'll come to you for a bit more analysis when the whistle blows for half-time, which I don't imagine is going to be too far away as the ball trickles out over the sideline at the other end of the field. So it'll be a throw-in for the Belconnen United side. And indeed, there we go. There's the whistle to signify half-time. So we've got no score on the board. We've got a multiple issuance of yellow cards in the first half. But at this stage, first versus third on the table. Both of these sides have only had one draw. They've had a scoreless first half here at McKellar Field. Steve Forshaw, your thoughts on the first 45 minutes?
Generally a fairly even first half. Scrappy, I think. The amount of possession retained by both sides wasn't up to where you would expect it to be at the NPL standard. Defence has probably been on top, and I think the fact that both teams are trying to put as much pressure in the midfield third on each other as they can is forcing rapid changes in possession. I think from Olympics' point of view, they'll be happy to go in a 0-0 knowing that they've still got game winners on the park. They've still got the Dominicis and the Catanacks that can change a game. From Belconnen's point of view, and as I was pointing out earlier in the first half, with so many changes and so many young players being given an opportunity tonight, they'll be happy that they're in the game and maybe looking to catch them on the counter in the second half.
Well, we'll see what happens in the second 45, but at this stage of proceedings there is no score on the board between Belconnen United and Canberra Olympic. We'll bring you the second half soon here on Bar TV Sports. players are out. The referees are making their way back onto the field. And 45 minutes to go in this fixture in the Capital Football PS4 National Premier League's action from McKellar Park. Belconnen United currently sit 9 points behind Canberra Olympic, so a win here really sets them up for a challenge in the latter stages of the competition. A loss here, it probably makes it a bridge too far, because a 12-point break would be very difficult to overcome. My name is Chris Coleman. Alongside me is Steve Forshaw. And Steve, can you spot any changes out there from the first half?
I think both teams are as they came off, so if there are going to be changes, it'll be during this half.
Saw plenty of substitutes out there warming up during the break. We also saw some really entertaining five-a-side footy for the juniors, but Canberra Olympic have possession to start things off. It goes back to Constantino, clearing kick well over the halfway line. And Beaton was the man who headed it for Belconnen United. Magic. Intercept from Maybury. Now it's with Yarnold. He's been probably the quietest man for Canberra Olympic in the first half. Yarnold?
He's one of those quiet achievers. He's been very solid at the back. Nothing's beaten him in the air. He's done his job. He's there to sort of stop Belconnen playing, and he's done that.
That's for sure. So what can Olympic do with Nick Bobolis on the far side now? Looks for Tim. No, in fact, he's got someone else as a target there. Not sure who it was. It wound up with Durack. Galevsky, so plenty of pressure. As we see Reinhardt. Sends it up, but only as far as McLaughlin. McLaughlin back infield to Colbertaldo. Colbertaldo drops the ball back into his own half of the field. And Magic again. Stops and props a second time and a third. Just giving players upfield a chance to get set, but instead it's intercepted by Maybury. Zach Maybury sends it across in front of Muzzy. Muzzy looks to the box, dispossessed by Katanak. And they turn it around again through McLaughlin. Ill-directed cross from him to Mariam. Magic back to Mariam, but past Mariam. Muzzy. Now it's Maybury again. Maybury just a little bit loose with his possession. Holds on to it. Beaton in the circle. Goes down the right. Gives it to Maybury. Looks for options, looks for anyone. Bit of a push and shove in the box. Careful, guys. Bit more of a push and shove in the box, but it's again repelled by Olympic, and they bring it back up to Habtemariam. Now Colbertaldo. Tim Bobolis this time. Sends it in. Target was Galevsky. Galevsky was dispossessed. Back with Tim Bobolis. Habtemariam at the top of the square. Goes down. Dangerous player. He's still got the ball through. But the shot came from Galevsky, and it's over the bar. First 2.5 minutes and no score, but certainly Canberra Olympic seem to be playing faster football this second half.
Well, they moved the ball well then, and Timmy Bobolis has been posing a threat down the right-hand side all game, and again he got forward. Galevsky looks to be far more involved, or looking to get involved in the second half than he was in the first. But again, it's Belconnen turning possession over or making bad decisions in crucial areas of the pitch that are costing them any chance of getting a goal.
Steve Forshaw with analysis this evening. Chris Coleman's my name, bringing you the play-by-play, and we see a bit of a push and shove. Turns the ball over to Belconnen, to Canberra Olympic. As was indicated by Steve Forshaw, just another simple turnover. Magic, he's gone long. Referee wants to have another go.
Yeah, I mean, it's either the ball was moving and he's having a retake, or we're 1.5 meters away from where he should have been taken. And a little pedantic perhaps, but within the rules of the game.
Magic sends the ball long and across the far side of the ground. Galevsky has it, turns around, gives it to Tim Bobolis. Bobolis back heel to Galevsky. Galevsky on a cutting run now. On the corner of the area. And Katnak on the inside couldn't use him. Tim Bobolis still in competition for the ball. It comes free. Colbertaldo sends it back, so Olympic Still in possession, but a long way from home. Yarnold. Across and behind Magic. Magic still going. Have to marry him. Falls his opposite number in Maybury. They're pushing. Now it's with McLaughlin. McLaughlin's still going. Back to Yarnold. There's no panic about Olympic. They know that holding the ball builds pressure. The longer that Belconnen United don't have the ball for them, the more they start to want it. Start to worry about why they can't get hold of it. Magic through ball finds Have to marry him. Have to marry him to the top of the penalty area. Dominici was charging but went past the cross. And there'll be another card here. I have lost count of the yellow cards today. Cole Bataldo's got one. He doesn't seem very happy about it either.
No, the challenge was just a little agricultural, there is no doubt about that. Very late, very high. Lucky to only be a yellow card, really.
If you didn't see it, if you didn't see the first half here on Bar TV Sports, we've seen several yellow cards today already. So many that I haven't been able to keep a track of all the ones that have been issued. So we'll just say there are several players, I reckon 6 out there, who are on a yellow card. We may well wind up with fewer than 11 on 11 by the end of this game, if the challenges keep coming as they have been. Golevsky now tries to turn it around, dispossessed by Reinhardt. I've really been impressed with him. He's set up a lot, as we see a big push in the back from McLaughlin. That almost warrants a card in my book as well. For the elbow was raised into the back by McLaughlin, but he's a little bit lucky to get away with that one.
But it also breaks up the momentum. It's a deliberate free kick to stop Belconnen going forward, and the referee would have been quite within his rights to bring out a stronger sanction than what he did than just give the free kick. But here we go. Wells trying to get it into the far post. Clements will be the target here, I'm sure.
Where's it go? Intercepted by defence. Goal gets straight up in the air. Cole Bataldo all over the back of someone. Ball comes free and the kick will be taken by Canberra Olympic goalkeeper Angelo Constantino. He's got to go for a walk and get the ball. We've seen the referee say a couple of times, no, it's got to be taken from the exact spot, so he reels it back into the box. Slows things down a little. Big left foot up over the halfway line. Into Katanak. Katanak can't control it terribly well. There Greenwich. Into Marzi. Another free. Little handball in there. So Belconnen United a chance to get set up. They're not quick enough on the set plays here. I understand they want the players in the exact position that they should be for the set plays, but just too slow. Greenwich. Give it across to Marzi. Now it's around the outside with Maybury. Maybury sends it back to Marzi again. Marzi. Across to Beaton. There we go. Good possession here from Belconnen United. They have almost put the mocker on them. Shot comes from the far side. Oh, it's only missed by a matter of inches. It's stopped and spun away. So Maybury now has it to Beaton. Is there a handball in there? Someone calling for it. No, Maybury keeps going. Now it's with Greenwich again. Greenwich gets past one, gets past a second. Puts it in front of Marzi. Marzi takes the shot and it curls away. That was good play. This is better from Belconnen United.
Yeah, they're enjoying their best spell, no doubt about it. I think Cam Reinhardt's little ding to the back post might have just clipped the base of the post. Get a player running in like that, it's a tap in. And then some lovely skills following some decent build-up play. And young Leo Mars is only 15 and 16-year-old, nearly puts Belconnen in front. Bit unlucky.
As you've said a couple of times, having possession, and Belconnen, it's one thing we haven't seen them do much of in the first half. There we've seen what they're able to do when they get hold of the ball and hang on to it for a few passes and string a few together. They can put a bit of doubt into the defence from Canberra Olympic. So now it's with Greenwich. Greenwich still going. Who's he got? On his outside, it's Glazer. He's been quiet so far this half, but that's a good-looking ball from him, cut off by Cole Bataldo. Comes back to Glazer. He'll get another crack. He's got time. Goes across field, looking for Maybury. Now, Maybury can stop and set here. He's got nobody in, so he takes it into the area himself. Now pushes back to Greenwich. Greenwich goalward. The ball's on the ground. It's in the net. Great goal from Belconnen United and Steve Forshaw. You said it before. If they can hold on to the ball and put some possession together, they will score.
Absolutely, and just rewards for some decent play. I mean, they've been patient in possession, Dustin Wells involved a couple of times there, spread the pass. Jason Ugrinic cutting in onto his left foot, gets a strike away. Angelo Constantino will be a little disappointed with his effort in goal, but Fabrizio in the right spot, following up like a good striker should. 1-0 Belconnen.
I really liked the setup play from Maybury there, where he came down the wing and he didn't rush. He came across, looked up, saw that he had no options, running in on the post, came it back, brought it up across the top corner of the area, then gave it to Ugrinic to set that up. So chalk the goal down to Fabrizio, but the thinking and the setup there to Maybury. Now we've got a change, so coming on is Smith, and I didn't see who came off. Did you catch who came off?
Glazer. Adam Glazer came off.
You mentioned, I don't know whether it was on air or during the break, that you thought he might have been due for a break, and indeed that has happened. But there we go. So 54 minutes of play gone, and we've got the first goal on the board. And suddenly this game takes on a whole new complexion now, because Canberra Olympic, they won't want to be going into their FFA Cup campaign, which starts in 10 days' time, off the back of a loss to a close rival here. Bearing in mind they also play the Centre of Excellence next week. As a shot comes and goes over the bar, they really will be wanting to get to maintain their winning form, because they've got a couple of very important fixtures in the next 10 days. The Centre of Excellence next weekend, and then their FFA Cup match against Sorrento in Perth. I think it's 3 days later.
Yeah, football's coming thick and fast for them, isn't it? It's funny how the FFA Cup can affect teams. It can either work in your favour, or it can actually become a bit of a distraction. And from Belconnen's point of view, I think they'll be hoping it's the latter. But you're right, and you said at the commencement of the second half that Belconnen couldn't afford to go further behind Olympic in the chase for the minor premiership, and at the moment they've been if it stays the same, they're back in the hunt.
Now another set play coming up. Ugrinic, some people might have wanted to see him play a little bit more further forward, but he's doing a real job as an attacking midfielder for the Belconnen United side tonight, as we see a long ball. This is almost role reversal, isn't it, from the first half. Maybury turns around, pops it over his shoulder. Now Ugrinic running up forward. Puts the hands in the air just to try and upset Constantino for a moment. Constantino can take his time. No one coming near him.
Belconnen are just starting to win the midfield battle now. And it's because of the possession they've been able to maintain. And so if they can keep that up, rather than just hit hopeful passes like we saw from Smith there, if they can keep possession for long periods of time, they can get a second, and they can certainly limit the amount of chances Olympic might create.
Well, Olympic have a chance here now. Megic, or Megic, I'm told it's pronounced, Megic. You see it come around. Chasing through was Daniel Colbertaldo, but the ball didn't come near him. Call for offside, and the linesman on the far side, or assistant referee on the far side, agrees. Twelve minutes gone in the second half. 1-0 to Belconnen United over Canberra Olympic.
Been really impressed with Isaac Clements today. I think he's looked after the young boy Harry Williams playing next to him, and he's been as strong as a rock at the back for Belconnen tonight.
It's amazing what a difference a goal can make. And if you'd looked at the first half and sat there and thought if they'd come out and played the same way in the second half, I don't think you would have said Belconnen United were the likely side to score. But suddenly they're playing with a spring in their step. There's a few more up forward for them. Seeing Marzi running around as we wait for the throw from Reinhardt. Long ball, and there is Marzi eventually getting it on that secondary possession that Steve Forshaw mentioned earlier. As he gets a push in the back, but nothing in it. McLaughlin, through ball. Just hold on to it, and it comes back to McLaughlin. Now Colbertaldo, key player for Canberra Olympic. Holds it up in the middle of the park, goes around to the far side. And really nothing in the end of that. Finn Durack not even challenged.
No, but it is the way forward for Olympic. Be patient in possession and then look for that little ball that penetrates, trying to get Dominici or a Kadanak on the end of it. They'll get more joy out of that than just lumping it forward and hoping to get the second ball, as we talked about in the first half.
No rush here. This has been a good 15 seconds that ball's been sitting there. It is quite cool here. as Reinhardt puts the ball back into play. Long ball. Now this could be interesting. Greenwich around the top. Curving shot. Constantino up to the challenge. Now he puts it out in the path of Habtemariam. Habtemariam, I think, looked over the wrong shoulder for the ball there. Just didn't quite know where it was, and Beaton was ahead of him and able to just get the better of it. But it's the dark blue side of Canberra Olympic continuing in possession at the moment. Tapped away from Dominici over the sideline. You can't keep doing this. You can't keep allowing Canberra Olympic to just creep up and creep up. This is the slow game, almost off the arm of Habtemariam there, but it's kicked clear again. Out of the field of play, so Canberra Olympic lose a few yards but still have possession.
Just showing a little bit more urgency, Olympic, now that they've gone behind to try and get back into the game, as you would expect from a team that's at the top of the league.
Cross comes in from Dominici. It's a low cross. Largely ineffective. Nobody really at home for them. So, rebound and attack from the Belconnen United side. Fabrizio, the goal scorer, manhandled by Yarnold. And another card. So, we'll call that 7. There's enough for a game of 5-card stud or something, or Hold'em now.
Yeah. I mean, the casino hasn't got this many cards, I don't think.
It's the old 7-card trick. Zach Maybury sets things up. Plenty moving around. See Fabrizio. Greenwich down the sideline. He's not the target. Beaton. Greenwich puts it into the area, or almost into the area. Actually, that's Beaton there. As well as I'd called Beaton before. Apologies. Now it's with Constantino. So, another attack repelled. 16 gone in the second half. 1-0 to the underdog, Belconnen United. As we're seeing the game stepping up in intensity. Magic puts a long ball up, rebounded by Reinhardt. But only to the midfield contest again. Greenwich backs away. Interesting that he pulled out of that. He just gave up the possession a little bit. Habtemariam. There's a crack. Now Greenwich gets a push from Cole Bataldo. So Greenwich gets the free kick. He'll run further up the field, allowing Williams to take the kick. Williams, who's he looking for? He's going to come down the right, I reckon. Does. Nobody home. Habtemariam on the rebound for Olympic. Now it's with Katanak. He was busy in the first half. Hadn't seen much of him since the break. Oh, here we go, Dominici. Dominici puts it in the path of Golevsky. Golevsky gets it right on the goal line. And it's shunted out for a corner. Big opportunity here for Olympic.
Maybe did well defensively, covered well. Got the blocking when he needed to. Now they need to defend the corner. Been good from set pieces, Olympic. They're quality. I think they'll try and get this one a little deeper than the others, though. Yeah.
They do. Good punch from Finn Jurak. Sends it right across to the far side of the field where Yarnold is looking. Yarnold will get it for a throw-in. Runs away from the throw-in in the end as Yarnold and drops back as a true centre-back should. It's just up there to provide some additional numbers. Ball comes in. Golevsky, the target, puts it into the side netting. So Canberra Olympic definitely exploring more options and going deeper in attack with more angled ball than we've seen from them in the first half.
No real threat on the end of that one, though, but once again, the danger comes from Katanak finding space in and around the penalty area. And if he gets a quality pass away, then Belconnen will be in trouble.
Well, push and shove in the middle of the park once again. And Canberra Olympic, well, they've come up with it one more time. Through Magic, then Katanak. They've lost the ball. Now it's with Sam Smith. And he was subbed in 10 minutes into this second half. He's put it in the path of Greenwich. He's dispossessed. Habtemariam with it now for Olympic. Looks towards the sideline and finds it. So temporary reprieve in the pressure for Canberra Olympic. Maybury. Puts the throw in. Gets the ball back. Little skipping step, gets past a couple. If he can get past the third one, it'll get interesting. He has to resort to the trick play of the back heel. Loses possession, have to marry him again. Now it's with Katanak. Katanak still going. Right down the left side. Finds Dominici. Dominici has to argue with his opposite number in your Greenwich. Dominici wins the argument. Have to marry him. Loses the ball. Sent forward for Canberra United to Jason Greenwich. And we got offside there for Dan Fabrizio. You can almost forgive that one because I don't think he was expecting the ball to come through quite so quickly. So a little bit unfortunate. Canberra Olympic rebound with Nick Bobolas. A couple of passes to McLaughlin and then back to Nick Bobolas again. Longer ball. Dominici. Back to McLaughlin. He was looking up forward again. Oh, long ball through to, well, nobody. I think they were a little bit gun-shy, United, there after the previous offside call.
It was a lovely opportunity if the weight of the pass had been better. Daniel Fabrizio was in again. But they did well to come out of the back four and in a defensive posture and turn it into attack. And Olympic are doing the same. They'll be expecting more from Dominici, I think, though.
Well, he's certainly seeing more of the ball in the past few minutes than he did in the first 10 minutes of this half. As we see Finn Durack. How old did you say he is?
Well, he's still eligible to play under 18, so I think he's 17, about to turn 18.
Gee, he's got some power in those legs for those goal kicks. Marzi across to the far side. Goes back to Marzi now. He pulls it back. In and around Fabrizio. Gets it across, finds Maybury. Maybury, the man who set up the last goal, or the initial run of the last goal, still going. It's across, dangerous ball. It's just sent over the bar. Oh, that was good from Sam Smith, but just needed to be a foot lower.
It was, once again, great work down the right-hand side by Maybury. Wonderful hold-up play by Fabrizio in the middle. Chance created off some really, really quality possession.
Canberra Olympic have really got to start paying more attention to Zach Maybury. Hasn't scored a goal this season, but has received 3 yellow cards. Hasn't scored a goal, but they need to really pay a little bit more attention to him because he mightn't have scored many, but he's certainly been instrumental in setting one up today and very nearly set up a second. Now it's Marzi. Marzi still going, looking for someone at the top of the box. Hasn't got anyone. Loses it. Quick rebound from the Canberra Olympic side through Nick Bobolas. Now it's on to Dominici. Dominici puts it into the path of Bobolas. Bobolas brought down in the penalty area. Oh, look out. Now we've got plenty of discussion happening here. Steve Forshaw, your take.
To be honest, my first reaction was it was a free kick the other way. I thought Cam Reinhardt got to the ball first and then Bobolas collected him. I think it was accidental either way. But it looked to me that if it had to be an Olympic free kick, that it was inside the box. I guess we don't have the benefit of a replay, so we'll go with the referee's decision. Although he's gone over to talk to his linesman now.
It certainly looked like, if it's going to be an Olympic free kick, it looked like Bobolas had gone down inside the box, but there was certainly the push and shove at the top end of the area prior to that. And I don't think there was anything inside the box. I think you're right. I think the free kick has come earlier and the ref was just a little bit slow on the whistle.
He may have been looking to play advantage and he's brought it back. So it looks like a free kick from outside the box and we'll have to put up with that, I guess. So danger moments for Belconnen. Once again, Katanak really good from set pieces. Finn Durack needs to get everybody organised in his wall in front of him. And then hopefully he can deal with any shot that comes in from Katanak. From a Belconnen perspective, I mean.
We'll let you get away with that, that's all right. So the free kick from, it's only inches outside the area. I think the referee's got it right. That's certainly where the real push and shove took place. And I know Bobolas went down in the area, but yeah, I'm with you. I think it was a fairly innocent, innocuous bump between two players. And as you've seen there, the free kick from Katanak went into the wall and really achieved nothing. Bounced around up in the air a couple of times, but I get what Katanak was trying to do. But when you try and go through the wall, you really are taking it's the low percentage play. Cole Bataldo now And the return attack to Tim Bobolas, that's bouncing around. I'll get your thoughts on that free kick in just a minute, Steve, just to see what you reckon, but we'll just wait for the next chance to do that as Reinhardt has put it up forward once again to Fabrizio. Fabrizio, he's put it too far forward for himself. Cleared away by Nick Bobolas. And now we've got two players going down. So I'll just get your thoughts on that free kick there back from Katanak. I understand what he's trying to do, the power play, but to go through the wall, it's the low percentage play, isn't it?
Yeah, to be honest with you, I thought he mishit it. I think he was trying to go over the wall and didn't connect properly. He was certainly trying to put it to Finn's right-hand side to his near post and try and curl something in there. In the end, Belconnen relieved either way that he's made a bad decision or he's made a bad connection.
Magic, Yarnold. Yarnold still going. Fabrizio and Yarnold arm in arm. They're starting to get a little bit of feeling going here. Ugrinich, quick tap on the free. Gives it to Fabrizio. Fabrizio in the area. Goes down on just a little ankle clip. And now there's a bit more of a push and shove between McLaughlin and Fabrizio. This could just get a little bit nasty. Bit of push. Bit of feeling. Referee's being smart and saying, let's just keep the game going.
There's extra feeling in this. There's a lot of the Olympic players have played for Belconnen in the past. So there's a little bit of inter-club rivalry here. There's a little bit of passion from both sides because of the players that have moved on and have gone to Olympic. And McLaughlin is one of those.
Ball goes forward once again for Belconnen United, but the offside flag is raised. Now Canberra Olympic getting ready for the substitution. Jack Pettit is ready on the sideline, just wondering where he'll slot into this Olympic side.
Michael John coming on. Jack Pettit's the reserve keeper.
Giving me the wrong numbers then. That's okay. Thank you for the inside information. I should mention I am a bit of a gun for hire and wind up calling all sorts of sports here. So that's Michael John. He's wearing number 9. So Jack Pettit we probably won't see today, and he's replacing Tom McLaughlin, who's coming off. And that's what, 71st minute. I think we'll see a few more substitutions being rung in the next 20 minutes here, as especially if Canberra Olympic aren't able to bridge the gap. They do have the luxury at the top of the table of that cushion, but they'll want to. So they won't want to go down without a fight. They won't go down meekly, will they?
Not at all. They won't lie down at all. And like you were mentioning before, they want to maintain their run of form. You know, they've been in good form. They've only lost the once this year. They're top of the league, comfortably on top of the league. Belconnen are a major competitor, so they won't be wanting to give them any sort of sniff at all.
And of course, next week they take on the FFA Centre of Excellence, and the FFA COE side is sitting second on the table, not far behind Canberra Olympic. And of course, that FFA side, we won't be seeing too much more of them, Steve.
No, a controversial decision by the FFA to close the centre down. But they've certainly, since that decision has been made, shown just what they're capable of in the local competition. They're a little inconsistent, but if they turn up and play, they're capable of beating any team in the league.
Well, the players out there really playing for contracts too in that Centre of Excellence, so they really will want to finish the season on a high. As we see a powerful shot from Ugrinich, draws a good save from Constantinou, diving to his right, comes off his hands, and it's a corner for Belconnen United. We haven't seen too many corners for Bell United.
No, but and this one comes on the back of some wonderful football. A lovely square pass into the D, and Jason Ugrinich with that trusty left foot tried to curl it into the top corner. Great save from Angelo Constantinou.
What I have liked about Belconnen United is that they haven't, perhaps as some people might have expected, they haven't relied solely on Ugrinich up forward. I mean, he's bagged 14 goals so far this season, but they've actually gone away from him, and I think that may have thrown the defence a little bit for Canberra Olympic as well, because they've been looking for Ugrinich, and there's been other options in there. We've got a stoppage in play, but yeah, Ugrinich is he's very much a focal point for Belconnen United, but again, the play tonight doesn't seem to have been targeting him until recently, where he's now starting to inject himself a bit more at the pointy end.
He's certainly come into the game in the last 10 or 15 minutes more so than he had been since half-time. The shot that he's just had is typical Jason Ugrinnick, working that little bit of space as we see Nicky Boblis coming off. They won't be happy about that, and replaced by Bernie Renee, another former Belconnen player.
Okay, so that's a forced change. Nick Boblis, he's been most influential tonight. Coming off with a mild injury, and as you said, Bernard Renee coming in to take things on. Renee hasn't had a touch yet, but he's getting set for it. Gets his first touch now, right on the sideline. It's tapped away from him by Isaac Clements. So we're up to the 74th minute. Still just the one goal between these two sides. Canberra Olympic. Oh, they're a long way from scoring at the moment. Katanak finds Galevsky. Galevsky's moved across to the left. We haven't seen a lot of him on the left tonight. He's been almost exclusively playing down the right. He's here in front of us again now. Gives it across to Habdamariam. Back to Galevsky. Pops the ball back. Katanak again. Really good reader of the play. Drops the ball back. As they go into attack, Habdamariam was ready to really try and swing the leg through the full 180. It was cut off before it got to him. Maybury involved in there. Now he's on his own. Is Ugrinich. Question about whether he was onside or not. Flag stays down. Ugrinich at the top of the area. Puts the shot in. Just takes a deflection off the leg of Nathan Medjic. So it'll be a corner for Belconnen United. And Jason Ugrinich looked absolutely filthy after that with himself.
I think he was making a very hopeful appeal for a handball in the penalty area off Megic, and would have been extremely fortunate to get it. That's for sure.
It had come off his leg. So.
But what a switch. What a great ball from young Sam Smith, who's picked him out. 45-metre crossfield pass. Fantastic. Good touch. Bit unlucky not to get the shot on target, but Belconnen come away with a corner.
This has been fascinating. This second half has been completely different from the first half. Been much more possession, much more flow from Belconnen United as well. Canberra Olympic are going to throw everything in these last 13 minutes, plus injury time. There's he, but they've lost that. That's Michael John. Comes across the field. Galevsky. Oh, danger if he can get onto it. It just bounces away from him. If it had held up a little bit, that would have been interesting. Galevsky, a very dangerous man. Now Belconnen United, they're on the quick rebound. Haven't said that too many times tonight. Ugrinich again. Here's a crossfield, but he can't find anyone. Come back to you in a second, Steve Forshaw. We'll just let this play pan out a little bit further. It's Calbertaldo. Puts it forward. Oh, great play from Dominici. Comes back to Michael John. Michael John over on the far side. Can centre. He's got Dominici. Dominici takes the shot. Great save from Finn Durack. Definitely switched up a gear now, Steve.
Yeah, a lot more pace in the game now. Both teams are it's getting a bit stretched. And once again...
Oh, it's around. He's been brought down. Oh, gee, that's unfortunate. I don't know what else Finn Durack could have done there. As Dominici was coming forward, the shot came in, Finn Durack saved it. I don't know if there was any malice in there. I think he was just still there and Dominici was still going forward. I can understand the referee's call. Oh,
yeah, definitely a penalty. Finn's come off his line to close Dominici down. Belconnen stopped looking for a non-existent offside. We were not in a position to know whether it was or not, but as Dominici's touches it round Durack, he's just collected his foot and can have no arguments about the fact that it was a penalty.
It's the old saying, how many times do you say it? And I'm sure you've coached junior teams in the past, Steve, and you tell the kids, you play to the whistle. Dominici puts it high into the right, and it's past Finn Durack, and we're back level with but 12 minutes remaining. Dominici from the spot gets his 19th goal of the season, 1-1.
Yeah, possibly a little bit against the run of play. Belconnen have actually slightly edged it in the second half. But again, it comes as a cheap turnover. They lose the ball through Leo Mars's in midfield, counter-attack, quick break, and unfortunately, young Jurak gets caught one-on-one with Dominici.
Well, everything to play for these two sides now. Galevsky, he's been a revelation since he switched to the left side about 5 minutes ago. Now Wells has been quiet lately. Finds support right over on the far side, runs forward. Sam Smith, the man on that far side, really in a long duel. The Olympic defender, ball goes over the sideline. Whoop.
Jeff, there's a pen top at your feet. It's sort of tried to escape captivity.
My top of my pen literally just exploded. Pardon my reaction of surprise for no other reason than I don't know quite how that happened. Okay, let's get back to the game. 9 minutes to go. If you were a betting man, Steve, which way would you be leaning if you had to?
I think both teams have still got a goal in them. The momentum may just have shifted towards Olympic now with the conversion of that penalty. Belconnen, largely inexperienced side, really have to knuckle in now and hold Olympic out. And there's still a chance on the break.
Dominici in the area, puts the ball across. Finn Jurak equal to the task, gets it out quickly, gives it to Ugrinic. Ugrinic a long way from where he wants to be. He's deep in his own half, puts the ball up forward. Is that Smith on the far side? I think it was. He was the target. But Olympic rebound. Michael John down to Abdamariam. Abdamariam looks up forward, flags up for offside. Not sure which one it was for. I think there were 3 offside there.
Yeah, I think he did it against Dominici, I think. Either way, it's a free kick, Belconnen.
It really didn't matter. There were 3 offside there. Now we've got another substitution coming here. Is that Adrian McCaw?
Yeah, really talented young player. Will sit in midfield and create things for them. Very, very talented young player. And I think Belconnen were interested in bringing him at one stage, but he chose Olympic. Good lad, good lad.
And it's Jeremy Habtamariam being replaced. He's been, for mine, one of the best out there tonight. What are we up to? The 82nd minute. So a chance for Adrian McCaw to wreak havoc for 7 or 8 minutes. He is fleet of foot, isn't he?
He's quick enough, yeah. But he's a very, very polished midfielder. And I think they're looking to him to actually start creating things now for him.
Speaking of creating things, we saw Galevsky down the left, and he's taken the shot. What a great save from Finn Jurak. So 2 involvements in a matter of minutes there from Galevsky. Put the first one across. Ball bounced around. Michael John it was who then gave it back to him for a second shot.
Wonderful piece of keeping, wasn't it? Fantastic save, fantastic shot. Lovely piece of play by Olympic. And this is definitely now momentum in favour of Olympic, and Belconnen will be doing well to hold them out.
Well, up to 38 minutes on the clock, so 7 remaining plus injury time, and it's a corner for the dark blue shirts of Olympic, and they waste it. Comes up to Katanak, so they'll get another crack. Ball comes in. Tim Bobolis had got himself into the centre forward position. Ball comes free. Michael John goes to ground. Nathan Magic, still going Magic. Comes back to Yarnold. Yarnold puts it forward again. John tries to get there, but instead it's Maybury cutting it off in defence. Now, what can Fabrizio do? Drops it off his chest. Intended it for a teammate, but it's been picked up hastily by Renee. Renee to John. Got a rugby tackle almost there from Nathan Magic. Belconnen United play on quickly. Fabrizio was the man it was intended for, but he was just looking the wrong way as the pass was dispatched. And I think potentially the offside flag might have gone up as well. So That attack coming apart on 2 counts. But the ball had gone into touch, so it'll be a Canberra Olympic throw. And we've got another change now, so that's Sese coming on, Alhaji Sese, and he's replacing Leo Mazzi. What can you tell us about Sese?
One of the most entertaining players you'll ever see. If you can get him on the ball, he's got more tricks than a circus, this lad. He can create, he can score, and he may well just be the thing that they need going forward. Because like I was saying earlier, Olympic are just getting on top now.
Oh, there he is. There's Sese. He's just into Hassel and Niggle. Forward through Wells. Push and shove, and we finally get a whistle. It's a free kick Olympics way. Clock ticking up towards the 40-minute mark. About 10 seconds to go before we're into the last 5. John Colbertaldo. Long ball. Oh, trouble. Big trouble. Oh, it's in off the upright. We called it trouble. It was trouble. And it's that man again, Dominici. The initial foray up forward from Canberra Olympic looked to come to nothing. And then suddenly, loose ball in the box. Stephen Dominici, bang, goal number 20 for him for the season.
And a classic finish. I mean, it rocketed in the top corner, clipped the near post on its way in, left Finn Durack with absolutely no chance. But came on a fast break after Belconnen had been in a good position themselves in the other penalty area. Jason Ugrinik turned possession over, tried to foul Kadanak. They took the free kick quickly, and they've down the other end, balls in the back of the net.
There was nothing Durack could have done. That was an absolute rocket from the left foot of Dominici. And suddenly, from having sat on a 1-goal lead for, wow, a good 25 minutes, in the space of 6, the game has been turned completely on its head in the top of the table Canberra Olympic side. Bear in mind they've gone 10-1-1 in their first 12 games. They suddenly look like going to their 11th win of the season. But when these sides played earlier in the year, 7 goals were scored in the last 30 minutes, and we've still got 3.5 plus injury time to play here. So who knows what the soccer gods are going to turn out for us here at McKellar Park in the last few minutes. Although I've got to say, Angelo Constantin, who is in no hurry to put this ball back in the field of play now, puts it to the feet of Michael John. John to Magic. Magic loses his footing as he puts it into the path of Beaton. Beaton outside to Mabry. Mabry up the sideline to Sese, and offside was Smith. Oh, Wells, apologies.
Yeah, Dustin Wells made his run a little early, or the ball was just fraction late in coming, and he's just found himself in an offside position.
Haven't seen Wells get right up forward too many times tonight, have we?
No, he's played a little deeper tonight. He's been playing in that 10 role, just behind the striker. And I should imagine that with 2-1 down and with only a few minutes to go, he might find himself pushed further forward now. Nothing to lose now, so he may as well get a little bit more adventurous.
Long throw. Header into the path of Sese. Sese bumped down by Magic. Given the number of yellow cards we've seen handed out here tonight, I'm surprised we haven't seen a red, but there's still time. Ugrinik sets himself. He's got Sese in the box. He's got Smith in the box. He's got Fabrizio in the box. In fact, he's got 7 men in the box, I think. So plenty of targets. And he manages, in amongst all that, to pick out a Canberra Olympic defender. Wells hooks it back over his head. Ball up in the air. Header! But wide. Clock reaches 43 minutes. And again, there's no desperation at all from Canberra Olympic to get this ball back into play now. So much so that Sese from Belconnen United runs down, puts it across to Constantinu. Constantinu's still waiting. That's 15 seconds. He's going to take as long as he possibly can. Sends it back down the field of play, down to the sideline. And it's kicked towards the linesman by Galevsky. So one last attack maybe for Belconnen United before we go to injury time. Fabrizio, Mabry over the sideline. They make another few metres. 70 seconds of regulation time remaining. Maybury has to go and find the ball. Right down in the corner of the field, out of your field of view, in fact, at the moment. We'll see him again in a second. Sesse. And over the line, a goal kick. Really, it was a pretty flat ending to that upfield raid.
Yeah, you make substitutions hoping that they'll have an impact on the game, and Harge will have to do a little better than what he did there.
30 seconds of regulation time remaining. And we'll be playing much of that, I would suspect, down the other end of the field as Constantinou sends it down. It's to the other end. McCaw was the target. Well, maybe one last chance. No, as it comes out, goes out of the field of play in front of Maybury. And it's oh, hello. It's actually going the other way. The linesman was saying one way, the referee was saying the other. The referee... Okay, so now we've got both of them pointing the same direction. And Nathan Magic taking the slowest possible walk. And now he rolls it along the ground.
There'll be no urgency to sort of get the ball back into play now. I mean, time's up officially. We're only playing injury time now.
Not sure how much there'll be. I don't think the answer is I think the answer is not very much. So can Belconnen United pull a rabbit out of the hat and salvage a draw? Ball goes into attack for them. Greenwich the target. He's got nothing to do with it. He puts it forward and it's rebounded away by Michael John. John just clears it down the field. It's actually gone out over the goal line, so it'll come back to the keeper. Durack. We're up to 46 minutes. Haven't seen the referee check his watch yet. Durack, long ball, very long ball. But only as far as Yarnold. He's been good at the centre-back role for the Olympic side tonight. Nothing stellar about his performance tonight. And, oh dear, this could be trouble. It was Dominici on the search for the hat-trick, but Durack got to the ball first. That's Fabrizio, the goal scorer for Belconnen United. Ball comes around the outside. Sesse right on the stripe. Keeps the ball in play. No, the linesman puts the flag up. Referee has now checked his watch. We're at 46.5 minutes. That does not bode well for Belconnen United. The referee is keeping an eye on the timepiece. Maybe one more foray up front for them. He's got the whistle in his mouth, the referee. Brings it back down. Colbertaldo. There we go. Colbertaldo has the last possession of the game. And the Belconnen United fans, they'll go home disappointed. The Canberra Olympic side, well, they go their merry way atop the table. And Steve Forshaw, it's really for Belconnen United, I think a case of a wasted first half. They came out with just not quite tactically right in the first half. Much better approach in the second half, but unable to hang on once they got the lead.
I think they'll be a little disappointed because they've got themselves into a winning position and have ended up with nothing out of the game. And in the second half, as you quite correctly point out, I thought certainly in the early part of the second half they shaded it, but you can't underestimate just how resilient Olympic are. They're not top of the league because they can't play. And it all changed on the penalty. Once a penalty was given and converted, momentum shifted towards Olympic. And in the end, Stephen Dominici's come up with a wonder strike and he's got him the 3 points. Belconnen battled away well, showed enough that the future of the club is in good hands with some of the young players that came in. But in the end, Olympic just too strong.
So to wrap it up here, the final score, Canberra Olympic 2, Belconnen United 1 at Belconnen's home ground of McKellar Park. The goal for Belconnen United was a good one from Daniel Fabrizio. For Canberra Olympic, it was a 79th minute penalty to Stephen Dominici, followed up by that magnificent hard shot in off the left upright in the 85th minute. Next week for Belconnen United, they are at Woden Western on Saturday afternoon. For Canberra Olympic, they take on the FFA Centre of Excellence at O'Connor. That is a Sunday afternoon game, and of course for Canberra Olympic, that is then followed a matter of 3 days later by a big game in the FFA Cup against Sorrento across the other side of the country in Perth, where it will probably be considerably warmer than it is here in the nation's men's capital as well. Steve Forshaw, thank you very much for your time. Any final analysis or comment?
No, I'd just like to wish Olympic all the best in their trip to Perth for the FFA Cup, and commiserations to Belconnen. Fine game. Thank you.
Absolutely. It's been fun to return to the soccer commentary position on behalf of everyone at Bar TV, on behalf of Steve Forshaw with the expert comments, and Daniel doing the camera work tonight. This is Chris Coleman signing off from the Capital Football PS4 National Premier League game tonight at McKellar Park, where the final score was Canberra Olympic 2, Belconnen United 1.